Here in Wellington, we're looking at spending $3.8 billion for a new highway from the motorway to the airport. Which, hey, sounds great, faster, better connection, everyone loves that. The problem is, I don't think we're going to get much bang for buck on this one. The net gain is about 10 minutes time saving and some more predictability on the time to commute. I'm not an economist, but $3.8 billion is a fair bit of avocado toast. And I went and did the math. Well, turns out there's 500,000 residents in the greater Wellington region, which means that our spend per resident for this project is going to be over $7,000. And if you break it down by household, because not all residents are paying taxes, that comes up to $20,000 per household to build this road. And yes, you can slice it off rates or income tax or fuel tax or RUCs or however you want to slice it. But at the end of the day, the money only comes from one place, which is us taxpayers. And so the question is, well, is this a good bang for buck investment? Typically, building more lanes doesn't solve a problem in itself. Traffic always expands to fill the available capacity, induced demand, inferred demand. You know, the more lanes you create, the more cars are going to be using it because it's easier and you're back to square one, except that you spent $3.8 billion to get there. And the problem with the route to the airport, for driving at least, it's not the number of lanes, it's the number of intersections. No matter how many lanes you've got, you can't go through a red traffic light any faster.
It's kind of scary to just road past a red light. It's not just cyclists, folks.
Let me show you what I mean, because all of these junctions are going to remain in place under the new proposed plan. They can't get rid of them because other roads cross over. So what do we have? Well, first one up, second one up, third, fourth. Now I've had a pretty good run today. It's been pretty green and pretty quiet on traffic, which is lovely. Not always like this. 5, 6, 7, and last but not least is the 8th set of lights, not even to get to the airport, but just to get to the one tunnel to the other.
Look, I'm clearly a liberal hippie cyclist, corrupted by the influence of big bicycle, but I also drive. I also hate the traffic to the airport.
It's green, why are we not going forwards for f***'s sake?
But you know, one thing that can unite car drivers and cyclists, we all hate paying taxes. And this is going to be an expensive hit on everyone living in this region. To put into more context, $3.8 billion is more than we would have spent on the cancelled ferry project, a project that's frankly critical to New Zealand infrastructure with roll-on roll-off ferries and connecting the North and the South Island together. Not having that project is materially impactful to the country, but it was deemed too expensive. But $3.8 billion for one road in Wellington is a reasonable return on investment. It doesn't stack up to me. So here's a radical proposal for an alternative solution for you. How about instead of spending $3.8 billion or $7,000 per person, we spend maybe $1.5 billion, just under half. And for that price, you could buy every single resident of the greater Wellington region a $2,800 quality e-bike capable of riding long distance, up steep hills with minimal fitness requirements. Imagine that. Imagine how much you could transform a whole city.
Whether it's lanes, subsidised e-bikes or something else, it is possible to transform cities from dysfunctional traffic gridlock. And I know there's another solution that's lurking in the shadows that a whole bunch of probably people watching this video will be very keen to call out. And a solution that appeals to every Wellington urbanist at heart. No, not moving to Melbourne. Trams, of course.
Now, I don't think we're going to get a tram anytime soon in Wellington. I'd love to see it, but we've seen politically that's failed in Auckland.
And it's also going to suffer some of the same problem, which is benefiting one route. My pitch is benefit all of Wellington, not just a singular route.
You could double your lanes by removing half the traffic. You only need some of the cars to switch to biking. to make a material difference on the existing infrastructure. Suddenly traffic goes from single person vehicles to being loads with legitimate use of vehicles, trades, industry, public transport. But if you're just popping across town to see a mate, take your e-bike. Because at the school, take your e-bike.
Benefits that would be felt across the entire region, not to mention the benefits for health, fitness and well-being of the population. So what do you think? Radical idea or the craziest thing you've heard all week?
And look, there's always some cost of infrastructure, even for cycling, but the cost of cycling infrastructure is so cheap and so cost effective compared to vehicles. Wellington's entire budget for the cycleway network was like 200 mil. It is chump change in the scheme of things. I don't normally do urban commentary type content, so if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If you didn't enjoy it, I have no doubt you'll also let me know in the comments, but my challenge to you is to tell me what you would do instead when you know that you haven't got a blank checkbook, because everyone, you and I alike, will be paying for this out of our taxes in one shape, form or another.